Today we're going to dive into the mysteries of the Apple Podcast algorithm and find out how you can make it to the top of the rankings in your category. But first, an important warning. The exact formula behind the Apple Podcast algorithm is an absolute mystery. So everything I'm going to tell you next is based on our experience. Most listeners discover podcasts through word of mouth, the oldest and most effective broadcasting system. Here's where quality content comes in, keeping listeners engaged and turning them into ambassadors for your podcast. The crucial point is to entertain, educate, and add value. However, how does this impact Apple's algorithm? It's crucial as higher quality means more interaction, and this is exactly what the Apple Podcast algorithm prioritizes. Although, as we were mentioning earlier, the Apple Podcast algorithm is an enigma, we are aware that it is determined by user engagements. And what are those interactions? It's really simple. 1, the downloads or listens. 2, the reviews. And 3, the most crucial, the subscriptions that matter the most. Each user interaction has a varying weight in Apple's algorithm. The greater the number of interactions, the more favorable the positioning. The greater number of interactions of a specific kind, the more favorable. And in this instance, what dominates above all is the subscription. And here comes an important piece of information. The freshness of those interactions carries a lot of weight, which means that a new subscriber carries much more weight than an old subscriber. With that being said, if we desire to be well positioned, we require constant interactions, and it is crucial that those interactions need to be fresh. So, in a nutshell, what are the ways you can climb up the Apple rankings? There are 3 important factors. First, optimize your podcast. Select the appropriate category for your podcast. Create a cover that stands out among the other podcasts in the category. 2, enhance the interactions, and most importantly, the subscriptions. Make a conscious effort to ensure that this happens consistently over time. And 3, the quality. Make sure your podcast is dynamic, sounds good, and adds value to your audience. Without quality content, nothing you can do will have any importance. And a couple of recommendations before we finish. If you desire to ascend the rankings of Apple Podcasts, it is intriguing to utilize the Apple Player on your website because you will effortlessly generate more interactions. And 2, don't underestimate the reviews. Although we've already seen that it's not the most important interaction, we do know that when you ask for reviews from your audience, it's easy for them to engage more with your profile, resulting in more interactions. And this, in turn, will help you climb up the rankings. By the way, we have a video that is specifically dedicated to providing tips on how to obtain more reviews for your podcast. And that's it. By applying these tips, you'll be closer to reaching the top positions in the Apple Podcast ranking. I hope the video was helpful to you. See you in the next one.